And truly, when you look at this Odu, Iwori Odi, Ifa told us of a time that women took over Egungun completely. When they took over Egungun, they were using Egungun the way they liked. When you look at it, you realize that all the Orisha or Irumole or Mole of the Yoruba people, they always have annual periods that they celebrate them. But the moment these women took over Egungun, there was no annual period. If, for example, the husband chose not to give them money for food, Egungun will be out. And they will beat the husband silly. There was nothing the husband could do. If, for example, there is misunderstanding between two wives, and the husband judged the case in favor of one wife, the other wife will go and look for Egungun. They'll come after the man and they'll beat the man. The same thing in the marketplace. Those who are, in Yoruba land, women control our markets a lot, because that is another story for another time. But there is also another reason for that. But I'm trying to cut this thing short so that we will not stay for too long here. So one day, one Babalawo now said, the way this thing is going, there will not be orderliness. Something must be done to make sure that this is stopped. What will be done? This man cast the fire, and the other was Iwori. That was when Ifa said that this man will do it, but the man will do well by keeping his mouth shut, but to continue to investigate. This man had 4 wives, and the man began to investigate little by little. The first thing he discovered was that all the 4 wives were witches, and they all had their own Egungun masquerades too. So he realized that he could not even discuss this issue at home. Okay, what was he going to do? He began to go solo to look for solution. And he was casting Ifa and offering a regularly. Then Ifa now told him, look for some owls that you can confide in. He looked for about 2 or 3 owls. He confided in them. They began to show him what to do and how to do it. Before long, they had a large crowd. And they now planned that the best thing to do was to overthrow these women. But these women had the power for sewing with them. Why? Because, out of all the 801 it was only Osonyi that was not initiated into Ifa. And it was because Osonyi believed so much in charms. But with all his charms, he became homeless. There was a time that he became a servant. And the Orunmila had to buy Osonyi. And he brought Osonyi to the house. But later, he became homeless. It was Egungun that accommodated Osonyi. And that was why, where we put all the masquerades like this of Egungun is known as Ile-Soyin. That is the room of Osonyi. That's where we have one. And any Egungun devotee who has no charms is not an Egungun devotee. He is just a joker. Because Egungun must have strong charms. It's all part of it. How do we now use all these strong charms against these women? And that is another thing for you to understand about witchcraft. Witchcraft does not believe in charms. It is that thing that is within. When you see a witch going from one Babalawo to the other, or going from one Onishegun to the other, it is just as a camouflage. So that you will not know. And that's why I pity some men. When you see a woman and you think that you can take advantage of that woman, and the woman, I'm telling you, don't let me get angry with you. Because if I wish you evil, evil will befall you. It is not a joke. It is the truth of the matter. And you will realize that all of these things are happening to some people. It is because Maybe the woman did not even know that she's a witch, because there are some women like that. They don't know that they are witch, but they are, and they are high-ranking witch, but they don't know that they have the power. I want to give you an example of a woman in my community. The woman used to confide in me a lot. This woman got a shop. The landlady of that shop happens to be a witch. And the landlady invited her to this witchcraft community. She came to me and told me. And I told her not to. I will still tell you my own reason for saying no to that. Then she went and told the woman that she didn't like to join because she was an elebe. So she did not need witchcraft again. And the woman said, if you have witchcraft and ebe, that is double potency. She said no. In the end, this woman prepared her favorite meal. How the woman knew it still remained a mystery to today. She prepared her favorite meal and gave it to her to eat. That substance was already inside that food. And she told me, I told her not to eat the food. She threw away the food. And she went to shop the next day. The woman told her, why was it that you refused to eat that food? No, I ate it. He said, no, you did not eat it. Then the woman told her that we will now start to show who is more powerful amongst the two of us. 2 months after, that woman died. That shows you that one power is greater than the other. And I can give you instances. There was another time, this same woman, the husband was a policeman. Her friend had a younger brother who was detained by the police. So the friend came to her to tell her, please help me. My brother is in the police, and in the police cell, and the woman now told the husband to help. So they went to the police station. While they were going to the police station, one thing led to the other. They became girlfriend and boyfriend. And the man really tried, they removed the brother. So the man, the woman now said, it is better for you to allow me to take you to Otta. Because your wife is using your destiny. And this woman, and the man agreed. They went there. When they got there, the people that they went to, it was as if the other woman had already talked to them in advance. And they said, oh, you have just come with the wife that God ordained for you from heaven. Then the wife that you have at home is not your wife. This is your wife from heaven. Because that one was using your destiny. Then trouble started. And this woman will come and cry and say, don't worry, God will bring out the truth of the matter. Before you knew it, the man had been telling her to pack. Because you cannot be the source of my agony and expect me to allow you in the house. And this woman began to cry and come to me and say, Lord, man, we'll do it. We now did one Ifa walk. The purpose of that Ifa walk was for Olodumare to expose the truth to the man. And the truth was exposed. By then, this woman will prepare food for this man. The man will not eat the food because the man did not want to eat the food of a witch. So she did not eat the food. And it was going on like that. Then serious fight started. We now cast Ifa, and Ifa said that Ifa was ready to punish the friend, that she should just hands off. We agree. Meanwhile, the friend had already come to the house to take another room in the house. The lady did not say anything. One day, this friend went to her shop. Then another friend came to visit her in the shop. They were there from morning till evening. So the friend said, well, I would like to go home. As the friend stood up, the friend just collapsed and died on the spot. When she died, the woman now called the husband That this is what I've seen. The husband said, no, my wife left home ill and hurt. You must have done something against my wife to cause this. Before you know it, policemen came. And you know, murder case in Nigeria is without bail. They just handcuffed the woman and put her in police custody. The long and short of the story was that the woman died in police custody. So that is the kind of witchcraft that we are talking about. That you see that you don't know, but it exists. And the woman is not aware that she's a witch, but she had been seeing many things happening that showed that she had extraordinary power. That is it. Anyway, they said there are many types of witchcraft, but 3 were very, very prominent. So there is the red witch, the white witch, and the black witch. The white witch, people say that they do predominantly good deeds. They protect their husband, they protect their children, they protect their extended families and make sure that they all grow. And that's why many people love the white witch. The black witches, they do evil. But when you beg them and you do the necessary ipese, feeding the yamis, they back out. The red witches, they do evil. Whether you beg them or you don't beg them, it doesn't matter. They continue to do evil. That is it. But as far as I am concerned, a witch is a witch. And this is my position. I have seen instances that many of these so-called white witches, they will defend their families to any length, which is a fact. But if they feel that you are a competitor to any of the family members, they are ready to take you out. And if that person is taken out, the family of the person who was killed, will the family consider that woman a white witch? Because as far as they are concerned, that's a red witch. So, to me, it is power. Power can be used, power can be misused, power can be abused. It is power, raw, naked power. My own advice had always been that leave the witches alone. Leave them alone. Let them be. And if there is any need, if you hear that, oh, you are having a problem with the witch, ask, what do I give them to leave me alone? Then when it is recommended, give them and let them go. When you go to a Babalawo, anything that Babalawo asks you to do that is raw, like raw meat, like she-goat, you slice it open, put epo, and that is for the witches in heaven. The 7 witches that we are talking about. But when it is cooked, that is for the witches on earth. Because the witches on earth, they take cooked meal. But the ones in heaven, it is raw that you give them. And that's why sometimes when you are doing it, and you find some witches coming, they will tell you, how can you put this thing raw like this? Why can't you cook it? Just follow what Ifa has said. If Ifa says raw, make it raw. If I say cooked, make it cooked. I have seen in some areas, for example, in Benin City, when they want to use eggs for the Yamins, they use spoiled eggs. Amongst us and among Ifa devotees, please use fresh eggs. Don't use any eggs that is spoiled. Because you are giving it in order to get something back. And what you are giving it for is for your freedom sometimes. Sometimes it is for your sanity. Sometimes it is for your peace of mind, so that it will not continue to disturb you. Sometimes you will hear that somebody has, for example, bipolar disease. Sometimes it can be manic depressive psychosis. Sometimes it can be neurosis. And we will say that those who have it, what do we call them? Mad? Okay. I want you to understand something. We said this world has 7 different dimensions. You see these people talking. To us, what they are saying makes no sense. But to them, it made sense. All what had happened was they had now been transported to another dimension. Because we do not understand the operations there. They did not fall within our own type of operation. We consider them mad. We consider it deviant behavior. Because it is not working according to our plan. Not everything will work according to our plan. Do you see people who went into manifestation? Some of them will be saying things that we don't understand. Is that not so? Why didn't we call them mad? And then you find some other awos who have special gifts in the interpretation of what we consider to be gibberish that those people are saying. And you will realize that what they are saying is actually true to your own life experiences. Is that not so? So it means that you cannot use one lens to look at the work of the witches or to look at the operations of this world. We have several types of lenses that we need to use in order to understand how this world operates. Then, who are the people that are usually being accused of witchcraft? Who are the people that are being accused of witchcraft? Sorry?
Caucasian.
Sorry?
Caucasian.
No, you see, yes, I understand what you mean, but I have read many of their books, and I've listened to many of what they do. All what they are calling witchcraft is actually shamanism. They are not talking of witchcraft at all. I have seen them draw this line, do this, stay on it, and then we recite it. That is not witchcraft. Witchcraft don't need to draw no lines. And they will do what they want to do, and it will be effective. No. I am just talking about who are the people that we normally accuse of witchcraft.
Elderly women.
Because it is, that is one, elderly women.
Elderly women.
Elderly women. Why is it that we accuse elderly women of witchcraft?
Because they're lies.
They are
Lies.
no.
Because they stop having their administration and they have the Ashe now.
No, it is because of our own bad conscience. Ask me why. You know it is your responsibility to fend for them. Don't you know? You have refused to fend for them. And if you have any problem, oh, maybe it is because of that old woman that I'm supposed to do. And I don't do, then the old woman will become a witch. It is because you have not done what you are supposed to do. Your parents become old. Instead of accommodating them in your home and let them feel what they had done for you, it was your own payback period. No. Instead of that, we went and dropped them at the old folks' home. And you think that is the right thing to do. Look at life so that you will understand what we are talking about. It is our own responsibility as Ifa-Orisha devotees to do the correct thing. When we were born, how many teeth do we have when we were born? None. Very good. We have no teeth. We have eyes, but we cannot see with the eyes. It takes some weeks before we start to see with the eyes. Is that not correct?
Yes.
We have arms. Can we use them when we are born? No. We have legs. Can we walk when we are born? No. We have mouth. Can we eat? No, all of these things we cannot do. We need our parents to assist us to do it. Of all the beings that Olodumare created, human beings depend on adults more than all the other beings. They had done all of those for us. Then we will now begin to cut our teeth. Before it was only milk. Later, when we want to dress, we need adults to dress for us. We could not do it. We had all of these things that we could not do. They did everything for us. Then one day, you are looking at yourself in the mirror. You now saw a strand of white hair. You look at it. That is to show you that you are already on your way back to where you have come from. And it will start that way. That is when you realize that your hands are no longer as strong as before. The legs will be complaining of gout, will be complaining of arthritis, will be complaining of something. It is because you are going back to where you have come from. But all of these things have process. Then one day you will be eating and you realize that one of your teeth just dropped out. And that's how they will be dropping, because you are going back to where you have come from. Remember that when you had all of this, those parents who are now experiencing blood eyesight, who are experiencing toothlessness, who are experiencing gout and arthritis, they were the ones who supported you. And that was the payback period for you to support them back. But your career will not allow it. You have a wonderful career. You did not want to lose that career. And the next thing that you think is take them to old folks' home. When you are taking them to old folks' home, that guilt will always be there for you. So those women will now become your witch, because you realize that they are. Why was it that you don't accuse old women who are very successful, who are rich, who have authority in the community? Why was it that you don't accuse them of witchcraft? Because you know that they can fend for themselves. And you know that they still have authority over you. They can decide to make or break you. They are not witches. It is only those who are powerless, who are helpless, that we consider witch. And old people, they thrive best when they are in the midst of small children. They tell all sorts of stories. They are busy. They are doing many things that we are supposed to allow them to do, but we don't do it, and we now accuse them. That is just the thing. This is an area that we must stop. It's an area that we must behave as true children of the divinities, as true children of Irumole and Orisha, and accommodate our elders, accommodate the old ones. The time that they had to live on earth, it's not much anymore. We need to accommodate them and make them happy. But instead, we want to adopt them in the old folks' home. I'm not saying that there are no witches among those that we dump, but our own conscience will never be clear, because even though they were witches, they still raised us without killing us. Why was it that the reward that we wanted to give them was to put them there? Because that is not their home. That is not their place. They feel more at home, they feel happier when they are in the midst of people. That is one. Who are the other people that we accuse of witchcraft in the society? Yes, we agree. Predominantly they are women. And predominantly old, poor women. Who are the others that we accuse?
Old men, some people accuse.
The old men will not call them witches, we call them wizards.
Wizards.
But I'm talking of witches.
Oh, witches.
Who are the other women?
Single unbearing women.
Sorry?
Single barren women.
Yes, we also call single barren women witches, because we say, oh, she had used all her children as contribution in the spirit world. We were not there. Well, this is something that is paining the woman. This is something that she considered the agony of her life. And that is what we are still using to rub salt to injury. So yes, we do that. What about troublemakers? When you see women who like to make trouble, and they will say certain things and the thing will come to pass, what do you expect? It will come to pass. Because Mrs. Ho had said it. You can see the result. It is because she is a witch, and then will even be giving it grace. She is the head of the witches. We were not there. We never attended any of their meetings. We don't even know whether he is the head or the tail. But that is what we wanted to hear, so that you will feel happy. These are the things that we need to stop. As far as I'm concerned, witchcraft is witchcraft. I'm not saying it is good, I'm not saying it is bad. It is energy, it is power, and it is used as a form of social control. It helps to stabilize the society. And if not for the witches, so many horrible things would have happened in this world. They are the ones who control it. Did you read a book written after the Second World War by the witches in UK? When they claimed that they were the ones who won the war and not the soldiers. That they were the ones who kept on giving Hitler wrong advice to attack at the wrong times. That is part of their power. And they used it, whether it is true or not, I don't know, but that was what they said. But the important thing was that Britain won the war when everybody thought that they ought to lose. And that is part of what we are saying. So we can also use the power of witchcraft to also bring progress and success into the society. Some of the witches also help with plantation and agriculture. And that's why you find some homes, they protect the witches in their homes. They will tell you, yes, she's a witch, but she helped me to develop. How can you now tell such a person to release the wife who had helped him to develop? There is a home in Ota. It was called Ajana Compound. Their great-great-great-grandmother had 33 children, and all of them survived. And that was the head of the witches in Ota. So you can, that's what we are saying, that you will find so many stories like that. And that's why I'm not saying it is bad, I'm not saying it is good, it is energy. But we need to understand how they approach. And when we do, we will understand what to do. But for men, don't ever in your life underestimate the power of women. Don't ever. Because many of these women that we think that we can just just push around, they have this power. And you won't know. So just be careful. And secondly, when you decide to battle your wife, it is because you feel that you are stronger physically than her. And you feel that she had offended you. And the day that you offend her, what do you expect her to do? Yes, you have beaten your wife because you have the power. And the day that you also did something bad, what do you expect your wife to do? And that's why you realize that sometimes your agriculture will fail. Sometimes your business will collapse. You won't know it is what you have done that you are getting the payback. So we need to be careful, especially how we handle our women. Because that is what the fact is. Let us bow for women. Because it is the women who gave birth to us before we become important personalities. And it says, let us bow to women again, because it is the women who give birth to an Oba before the Oba becomes an Orisha. So we need to be careful. If we have questions, let us ask, because time is good. There are so many things that we have to cut off, because you have brought two big topics together. Yes, please.
Why is, out of all the names of the Iami, why would Oshironga be one of the most popular names around the world?
Again, that's what I'm saying. Everybody is looking for power to protect. And we realize that it is a name that gives women power, that gives women recognition and authority. And when you hear that this woman is an Oshironga, you think twice before you trample on her. So that is the kind of energy that we are talking about. Whatever name you call a witch, is still a witch. So, but at least you embellish. And don't forget that they are also a Google. That's why we call it a Google, the Google of the night. The story is another thing entirely that we don't need to go into. But when you see a woman complaining to you that some people are making love to her at night, it is Yami, not men. It is Yami. It happened when their power was taken away from them by the men. So they decided to form their own group and they will be dealing with other people at night. When you see a man making love to a woman at night, then the man has problem with witches. But it can happen if, for example, a man has stayed or a woman has stayed 6 months, 12 months, 18 months without love making. It can happen that you will dream that you make love. That is not what we are saying. But we are talking of those who make love regularly, and yet you will find some beings coming to you to make love to you. Just know that it is the power of the witches. That you need to feed the in order to stop that. If not, no charm will stop that for you.
But could it be good or evil?
Sorry?
Could it be good or evil?
The moment you find, for example, a woman that some people are making love to her, one, it will be difficult for her to become pregnant. Two, it will be difficult for her to progress in whatever business that she's doing. The same thing with men. It will be very, very difficult because what you are doing essentially is you are releasing all the energy of success. Yes.
There's a story about with the Haitians. 3 women just coming to your sleep with you. They say that they can bring you riches or they can, as you say, leave you broke. You know about that story?
No.
No, it's just a story, so I'm trying to.
No, I don't know about the story.
Yeah.
But what the fact tells us is what I am saying. The moment you see somebody that some people are making love to, sometimes the face of the man may look familiar. Then you know there is trouble. And then again, when you find yourself eating in your dream, that's another bad dream. Because these are the things that the witches are now doing. Okay, you ask us not to come out in the daytime. They will be coming out at night. And we'll be doing it, and there is no way you can stop that. You understand? Yes.
So how do you decipher the difference between it being either your egg wound, and for someone who can't sleep every night between 3 and 5 o'clock in the morning? How do you decipher if it's your egg wound or if it's the EM?
What do you mean by, you mean the ancestors?
Yes.
You see, your ancestors will not even stop you from sleeping. Something is wrong somewhere. That is what you need to find out from the fact. What is it that is causing that kind of insomnia? So the more you know it, then you solve the problem. That way.
Is there a relationship between the Iyami generally and Eshu and getting certain types of work accomplished?
Okay. We say Eshu is the Minister of Justice. If you want to do anything good in this world, if Eshu does not support it, it will not come to pass. If you want to do anything bad in this world, if Eshu did not approve it, it will not come to pass. The only thing that Eshu will do is to analyze it for you. This is what you intend to do, and these are the possible consequences. If, in spite of those analyses, you still wanted to go ahead and do it, Eshu will do it for you. And that is the reason why Eshu will punish you. Did I not tell you? So you understand. So, for example, all the witches of the world, they cannot execute a man. They cannot execute any human being without a man. They need the man to do that. And that's why we call the man among the witches Ashogun. Ashogun is the person that they will send, go and slaughter this person. And Ashogun will go there and slaughter the person and divide the flesh of that person according to order of seniority. because all of them knew the parts that belonged to them. You cannot take another person's part. That is another story. Because if you do it, there are ways of punishing that person. And the biggest punishment they can give to such a person is exposure. The person will be exposed as a witch, and the person will find no way of defending himself or herself. You'll be reading in the papers that some people, well, there was one about 3 months ago that this woman went for their so-called meeting. When coming back, she now went to the roof of the house of her daughter and thought that that was the bed, and she was there. Only for people to see her in the morning. You see, that is the kind of exposure that we are talking about. Okay, what are you doing on the roof of a house if you are not a witch? You understand? These are the part of the punishments that they can mete out to each other. But the important thing is they need a man before they can do anything like that. And don't ever attempt to take what does not belong to you. Their own rules and regulations are very, very strict.
What is the relationship with Iyami and the birds?
Ah, yes. Of all the creatures of Olodumare, the birds are the fastest. They are the ones that move fastest. And that is why many of the witches put their essence inside these birds, because they may have meetings in far places. Then it is easy for them to use the bird to be there. It's not only the bird, they use cats, even they use you. They use so many, but the most common is the bird. So there's the bird. And that is why when the witches say that they have a lot of grudge against you, that time when Babalawos are trying to offer a bowl for you, stop eating any form of bread. Because that one may also be another reason why they will fight you. Because you are eating their children. So you see, this is a very delicate world. It is the little that we know that we think we are masters. We have so many other dimensions of this world that we know nothing about, and we need to be very careful about that. Yes.
So who do I be given as an icon?
Yes. There are 3 divinities: Ifa, Odudua, and Olofo. When you give the icons come with Ikin, not cow shells. They come with Ikin. All the other ones come with cow shells. But with Iyami, there is no icon. With Iyami. Because Iyami is not Orisha. Iyami is spiritism. And for you to know that it is spiritism, there is no such thing as annual festival in Iyami. Have you ever found anybody doing the annual festival of witchcraft? No. Because it is spirit, yes. Yes.
So Baba, I received Obudua, Babalawo's Obudua, the box that comes with the kings. They say I cannot open it or touch it. Is that true?
Where did you receive it?
I received it here. It was a 3-day sale on Cubans.
What?
The
There
three-day
must be.
ceremony from Cuban.
There must be a reason for telling you that you cannot open it. Maybe because as a female or something, I don't know. But if you receive the icon of Odudua that I know in Yoruba land, you will see it. They will hand it over to you openly. So I am not saying they are wrong, and I'm not saying they are right. What I am saying is the style is different from the one that I am accustomed to.
It was open, Baba. Well, once I seen everything in it, it was open, and once it was fed, it was sealed. And it can only be open to feed, but then it has to be closed again. I can look at it and everything, but I can't open it by myself.
Then who will open it for you?
A man Babalawo.
Is the male Babalawo the owner of the Odudua?
No, I don't know.
Something is wrong somewhere. I don't understand it, so yes, sir. Baba.
Baba, we understand that Irumale are extraterrestrial
Yeah.
from another planet.
Yes.
So that's our source. What star system is that? Since now we have NASA, we have exploration into planets beyond our solar system. Now, can we name Ikoleo Room with an actual destination?
Yes. You know, I have told you something now that I don't want us to start delving into so much. I told you, even this planet has 7 different dimensions.
Yes.
And that we are in the 3rd dimension.
Yes.
What gives you the impression that those humans are not coming from the 1st or 2nd or 4th or 5th or 7th dimension? So we still have a long way to go.
Yes.
And we cannot start to discuss all of this. Because we are still going to discuss it. We are going to sit down and give each other accurate information on all of this. But you must be ready for the information. I still feel that you guys are still not yet ready for the information because the information that you have now, they are too basic, too elementary. So we cannot start with serious esoteric information when you are not yet sitting pretty with certain information that you need before you delve into that level. Yes.
As a male Balalao, is it okay to have a commitment to say my Iamis are here? Me being of a lineage, not African, Eastern witches would be my lineage. But not knowing who that lineage was that was a witch, you just answered it. All women in our life are our witches. Because when you go to your mother and your mother passes away, your aunt becomes your witch because you are part of her family. So now how do I make a pact with my Iamis? Whether I know them or not, that's my external family. As a Babalao, I will have my house, I will have Irumale in it. Where would I put the Iamis with respect to them, not to combine them with what the energy is? Because the female energy, like respect of a woman, you give her her place. Where would they be put?
You will see that this is a very delicate question. And it is an interesting question. I know it. The first thing is whether a woman is Iyami or Elegbe or whatever, that woman is a woman first.
Correct.
And the woman is a mother first. All other things become secondary. What Ifa says is that Egungun is even more important than Iyami. It's more important than Ori. It's more important than anything. Because they say Egungun lagba no prefer. Egungun is the eldest in Ife. Do you know why? Without Egungun, none of us will be here. No matter how big or small your Ori may be, it is because of Egungun that you have them. So whether it is a witch or not, she is Egungun first. So just concentrate on the Egungun part. Forget about all the other attributes. Forget, because I don't want a situation where all of us will begin to delve into what we don't know. In Yoruba pantheon, the spiritual hierarchy is this. A dead person is on plane level 0 because the person is dead. And dying also has its own agenda, 10 different steps that we don't need now. So this is to show you that there are too many things that the Bible told us that we are not exploiting. Do you know why we are not exploiting it? It is because it has no money. If you go to a Babalawo is telling you the death process. How much will the Babalawo take from you? Babalawo wants you to come for a consultation and will tell you need to offer a bowl with 2 goats, 2 roosters, 3 hens, and what have you. That brings money. So we need to lay less emphasis on money and start to talk about spiritual elevation. That is what we need more now. So, your question.
The question, posed basically was, as I spiritually grow, I don't neglect.
Wait, let me tell you. I said a dead person is level 0. Those of us who are here who have never initiated into anything, we are on levels 1, 2, and 3. We cannot be more than that. But with good deeds and everything, we can be growing spiritually. The witches that we are talking about, they are on level 7. And that's why they can affect many people. They can make or break many people because they are higher than us. Those who have been initiated into Orisha, they are on level 11 and 12. You can see that they are higher than the witches. But remember that some witches are also initiated into Orisha. If the witch decides to use witchcraft, the witch will remain on themselves because that is her preference. Those who are initiated into Ifa will be catapulted to levels 13. So you're on level 13, meaning that you are also higher than the witches. But if you entertain fear, with your level 13, you go back to levels 1, 2, and 3. And that is why fear is more dangerous than death. So the moment you allow your confidometer to be very high, blue witch can do you nothing. But the moment you entertain any fear, they will use that fear to penetrate you. So that's why you shouldn't do it. The moment you are initiated into Ifa, you have that shell that is protecting you. Fear will crack that shell and allow all negative things to enter. But the moment you don't allow no fear to go there, you remain whole. Nothing, nobody. When you see anybody that witches, evil people, all these spiritual ascendants, they penetrate that person easily. Go and check that person. That person is a bad person. So the moment you don't allow it, then fine. And if that person is also a very fearful person, it will still happen. So all what I'm saying is fortify yourself with the belief in the divinities. Read what they have said and continue to work there. Well, I kept saying it. The first thing that you need to do is if anything happens to you in this world, as if that happens to Omo, or to Oshun, or to Obatala, or to Orishanko, or to Obaluaye, how will they behave? The moment you know how they will behave like that, nothing will happen to you because you have chosen the right course. You understand? Mm-hmm. Yes.
The Yamis are considered wise, and they also are healers. Is the healers coming as they being a healer? Is it coming from the herbs that we have on this earth here, or is it cosmic energy?
Okay, you are still looking at it from the shamanistic point of view, because all those ones are the definitions of the West. When you talk of Yami, you are talking of people who wish something that it will come to pass. So they don't need to have any knowledge of healing. If they wish it, it will come to pass. It is different. It is a very, very powerful energy, and they use it effectively. So there are some Yoruba films that portray them accurately, but 99.9% of these Yoruba films, they don't understand what they are doing. They just put on all sort of rubbish. But all what you need to know is that they have power. And they have strong energy over several people in this world. But the moment you have your faith in the divinities and you act according to their instructions, no witch can have anything, no power over you.
Yeah, I'm trying to, as I've been doing for a long time about it, to understand the definition of witch and witchcraft. Because we're talking about raw energy, we're talking about power that can be positively or negatively. So I'm trying to understand the use of the word. I understand everything that you said. I'm trying to understand the use of the word and how we apply it.
Okay. A witch is a person who manipulates spiritual technology from the preternatural point of view in order to attain a natural result.
Isn't that what we're all doing?
Sorry?
Isn't that what we're all doing?
No. You see, these are people who will sit down and decide that, yes, I want a vehicle that is carrying my enemy, mentioned it, to capsize. And that vehicle is already on the road. That, you know, the result that this person wants is a natural result. It's a physical result. But he is now using spiritual technology. And he is on earth manipulating supernatural power in order to affect that thing to happen. And it will happen. Witchcraft is that thing that they are using to get that result. Sometimes when they realize that they cannot do it alone, they do it in group to make sure that they get that result. That is it. But if you believe in the divinities, by the time they are sending that spiritual energy, Ifa says that it will go straight into water and it will cool down. It will not affect you. You understand me?
I understand you, but my question is still kind of is the same. When we make prayer,
yes,
right, we're utilizing a spiritual technology. It's not a physical, it's not a tangible phenomena, but we're using it so that in our lives, those things begin to manifest in things that are natural and things that are tangible and things that impact our lives. Correct?
No. You see, when you talk of prayer, you are talking of three different things entirely. You want us to go into other areas now. Because there are three different types of prayers. It is not one that we are talking about. The one that has to do with the witches are different. The first one is the one that we call social prayer. In social prayer, Osakana Temple just invited us that this temple had been erected. And they want us to come and celebrate with them. Then the chief priest came. Agbola is the chief priest. Oh Lord, we have come to rejoice with your children who had erected this building. May God give all of us the blessing to erect this type of buildings. And all of us will say, Amen. We know that all of us will not get it. It is just a social prayer. But all of us will be happy that at least it is a prayer. Whether it will manifest or not, prayer is much soothing than curses. And we will all say amen. Those are social prayers. It has no energy. It has no effect. And sometimes somebody just gave birth to a baby and invited all of us. We are all there, we pray, God, please extend this blessing to all of us. We know God will not give all of us children. Life is not like that. It is not because all of us have problems, but it is because some of us really don't want children. And when you don't want something, you don't get it. Don't forget that we are all products of our dreams. It is what we want. We are products of our thoughts. So, but the priest will come and pray and will say amen. But we know it will not happen. A youth had just been shot dead. Then they call the priest to come and pray. And the priest will go there. God, please put an end to it. We know God will not put an end to it. It will still continue. These are still prayers that we have made. But it will not work. That is social prayer. And then we have the ones that we consider to be precautionary prayers. Yes. Those ones, the step that you took to ensure that your prayers are answered. You are going out of your house very early in the morning. You opened the bonnet of your car. You want to check the oil. You want to check the water. These are prayers on their own. God, don't let me have a breakdown. And then you are now taking steps to ensure that you don't have those breakdowns. That's why you are checking all of these things. They are precautionary prayers. They tell you that when you are eating, don't talk. It is not because of anything. It is because so that the food will not enter into your esophagus. That is another prayer in itself. But you are now putting action into it. But you see, this is where it is different. You are going from here to Washington, D.C. You are going down the road. You now said, God, I'm going out today. Please help me to have a safe flight, or a safe drive. Fine. That prayer remains one. And that is, you have already checked everything. The tires are good. The oil is okay. The water is okay. It still remains one prayer. That the oncoming vehicle will also have the same prayer. And it will not be somebody who is drunk, who will now leave his own lane and come and ram into you. These are precautionary prayers. You have done the ones that you can do. And this is where divine intervention comes in. Because it is clear that you woke up and you want to leave by 7 o'clock. And it had been destined that by 7:45, one drunken truck driver is coming all out of his own way to come and hit you. And then what happens? In order for it not to happen, because you are a true child of the divinities, they don't want you as part of that statistics. They don't want that carnage to happen to you. Your tire will be deflated. Something will happen to your vehicle. And because where you are going, you are supposed to be there by 8:30 or 9. You now say, you see, my enemies are warning me. Why is it today, when I have all of these very important things, that this will happen to me? It is because my enemies are won. They will say, you will now go back home. Or Romila, or Ogun, or Osho. Did I not serve you well? Did I not try everything that you wanted me to do? Was I not doing everything that you wanted? I have never harmed anybody. I have never done evil to anybody. I have been helping people to progress. Why me? Then you now went to Babala, and if I was telling you that it foresees the area of long life, you will now say, which long life? After losing a very, very lucrative contract, you are now telling me long life. Which long life? It is because you don't have that sense. You don't have that ability to see to what would have happened 10 minutes after. That is. But then we are now talking of occult prayer. The prayers that you have already packed with spiritual energy, with spiritual technology. You have used all the necessary things. You have used Awure. You have used Yonu. You have used all of these things back to sender and everything. And then you are going. The person who wanted to do it will just go elsewhere. And it is because you have packed your prayers with energy. This is where witchcraft comes in. Because a witch knew that the son or the daughter wants to go somewhere. And nothing must happen to this person. What do you expect the witch to do? The witch will start the one that we call the supernatural technology, to make sure that the child has a safe trip to and fro. That is what I'm saying, that to say you pray is not enough. But you have to pray with energy. Why do you think that everything that we do in the body is not prayer? Mm-hmm. Everything is prayer. But you have already added energy to it. It is not an ordinary prayer. That is why you have the goat. The goat is there to replace whatever would have happened that is evil. So it won't happen again because you have already put something in place as something. You see, if I was only through two means, principle of substitution. Somebody is ill and the person wants to die, then I tell you go and get one he-goat. You got the he-goat, they use the he-goat. They want to replace your life with that of the he-goat. The he-goat will die, you will live. It is not an ordinary prayer. It is not a social prayer. It is more than that. It is because you have backed it up with energy. That is what we are saying. So it is different. So you need to understand all these areas of prayer. And when you talk of occult, spiritual prayer, there are 6 different types of those. Don't let us go into all those now because that is not the reason why we are here. If not, we won't live here. We'll just because all these things are there. What I am saying is we need to care to find to know. If I had already put everything down, but it is because we concentrate so much on Eboriru and we concentrate so much on IFA consultation alone, we have lost touch with all the other aspects of IFA. And the reason is clear. Many of IFA is very elastic. Many of the people who come here, they are not even IFA devotees. They want results. And they come to you in order to get results. You do it for them, they get results, you are the first person that they will abuse tomorrow. No, all those IFA devotees, they are nothing. But they have forgotten that they are the ones who had brought him to where he is. But they don't care. The important thing is for it. What happened in Brazil? After most of those Babalawo, that's 140 years back, after most of those Babalawo elevated many of these people, they now went behind them and eliminated all the Babalawos. Why do you think they did it? Because they knew they had the power. Those who brought you up can also bring you down. That is what Irete Rosso had said. So before they bring us down, let us bring them down. Let us make sure that we kill them. And that's why they kill them. That's why they don't have so much Babalawos in Brazil. So it is not as if it is not there. It is not as if that power is not there. But it is different. When you talk of prayers, you need to understand what type of prayer and what level of prayer. When you decide to go to the mat and you decide to offer a ball, that is the highest form of prayer that you can get. You get the result. Because the result is there. If you don't see the result now, don't think that the result will not be there. Because that energy is there, the energy is stored somewhere. You are still going to get the dividend of that energy when the time is appropriate. Many of us are always in a hurry. We forget that sometimes what we are looking for is not yet time. And we want it now. And when you have it now, it is trouble. So, those who are IFA devotees, you will now find uninitiated people, those who do not believe in what we are doing, castigating them, making jest of it. But they said that they have IFA. Why is it that this calamity has befallen them? That is why IFA will wait for the most appropriate time and hand it over to you on the plate of gold. So that when you have it, you eat. It remains with you. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about contentment, peace of mind, joy, happiness, elevation. That is what I am talking about. So that when you have it, it stays with you. You want children. And if I had already calculated 21 years to come, if this woman has this child will join a child gap. Don't give her that child yet. Wait for 2 years. Let those group of those guys, they are 8 groups, let them go so that this child will not be part of a group. But you are in a hurry. But I had offered them up. What is it that this Babalawo was doing? The Babalawo had been eating my goats. And yet, I don't have what I want. But it is because IFA needs to package you properly. Because you are a true child of IFA, you must not be disappointed. You must have their type of children. You must have the type of children that belong to the divinities. The children that you can talk to and they will listen to you. That is why you need to wait. But we are too much in a hurry. We don't want to wait. And we are forgetting that tomorrow is always better than today, as far as IFA is concerned. So that's what we are talking about. That is the area that we must go. That is the area that we must always strive to find ourselves. It is different. Yeah. 2 more questions.
One more question. I have a funny one for you. We're talking about it. We're talking about the Yami, right? And the strength that a woman could have if she realized that she's a part. Well, she's a part, but if she make it grow. All right. Okay. Let's say, for instance, all the women inside here listen to you, and that they grow that energy. What will happen to the men now?
Yes, they either make you great or they break you completely, depending on how you react to them. If you respect them, you see, for example, there are many things that you can do to win the heart of a woman.
And 1 second. Yes. We're not talking about the woman now. We're talking about the witch in her now.
I know.
All right.
You see, when you talk, don't forget that all of these women will not know your attitude. It is your own woman who will go there to introduce you and tell them this is the way you are to her. And that is where they will take it up. You understand me? If, for example, they know that this man will assist you if you have problems. This man will make sure that your children's school fees are paid if you approach him. Please, this committee of witches, ensure that this man continues to have the wherewithal to do it. All of them will start to do it. But when your wife goes there, that this man has a lot of money, but he's spending it on girlfriends, and he had never given me what I deserved, please remove all those riches from me. You will just realize that what you have been doing that has been working so well will now become your problem. God will not allow you to have any problems. God will not allow any of us here to have problems. Because problems can come from our attitude. And then we realize that, but I've been doing this in a long time. It is like a fowl that enjoys eating red ants. Do you know those red ants? Yes. If you know that the emmets, if you know that you have a fowl that loves to eat red ants, yes, the fowl will like the day that the ant will eat an amber, a live fire, the ant will think that it is red ant. And that is why it is our duty to make sure that while eating red ants, we are distributing to those who need it too. If you do that, you'll continue to find your red ants to eat. And nothing will attract you to look for life fire. You understand? So that is it. Last question. Yes.
The markings on the face, the 3 lines that are very popular, they're clothing lines, they're extremely, a lot of masks. What are those 3 lines for on each side of the cheek?
Ila. Whose cheeks?
Nigerians' cheeks.
No. When you say 3 lines, they will not necessarily be 3 lines. There may be more. And I don't think 3 lines are the most popular. The 3 lines are Kwele. But do you know that I have tribal marks too? In my stomach. Do you know that? No. I have it in my stomach. But you don't know. That's why you cannot say one is more popular than the other. Everything depends likely on who. In my own household, what they have is gumbo. Something like this, and like this. That is what they have in my own household. But because there must be changes, that's why our own fathers decided that they will be putting it here for us. And they are putting it there for us. It's there. So, and anywhere you go, when you see a mark like this, we already know where you come from. We already know your lineage. All of Yoruba, as a race, we are divided into 16 groups. Then, if you know the group that you belong, I belong to the Opo group. The moment you know it, you know where you come from. It is better than the national ID card. And more comprehensive, more detailed than the national ID card. You already know where you come from. So those marks, they are there in order for people to identify themselves. The one that we are talking about is called Kwele. It is to identify people. So there's nothing more than that.
The book about the story of creation you just told, because I've heard another version too, or another aspect of it somehow or the other. But you have that in a book already, or you gonna? That what you just was talking about?
Yes. Now put in the book. We still have so many books that we still need to write. And this is the reason why when we are writing 10,000 books, different topics, we cannot exhaust everything. It is your duty, your responsibilities to look for one aspect of Ifa and sit down, research, go to the correct set of hours. I'm not talking of self-serving babalawos. Go to the correct set of babalawos. Find out and come up with this. We will only be increasing the body of knowledge that we have now. Nobody can do it alone. We have too many things to talk about. We are talking of the 7 dimensions now. That is a whole huge topic in itself. That 100 books will not do justice to.
Yeah.
Why is it that it is only our head that we have here? Why? If I explained the reason why, and if I explain why we have it there, it is for the protection of certain things. What are those things? These are the things that we can take, little things like that. We will take and then we'll explain. Why is it that we have 5 fingers? Why? All of this. What is the work of that woman called Olubodi? Olubodi recommended 6 fingers. Other women recommended 5 fingers. How was it that it was decided that, okay, 5 fingers will be okay? And if we have children with 6 fingers now, we will consider it to be an abnormality. It is not an abnormality. It is just that that child leaned so much towards Olubodi.
Because I have a cousin at 24 fingers.
Oh, yes.
Because the fingers is basically born in our family, but right now I have a family of 24 fingers. 24.
I understand.
Toes.
I understand. That's what I'm saying. All of these things have been explained by Ifa. Do we care to find to know? But the moment we continue to think of a burial and consultations alone, we are going to lose all those other aspects of Ifa. And that is why we must not lose it. What does Ifa say about all of these things? That is when you will know that Ifa is just a complete way of life. One professor Felashowande said that Ifa is not a religion, but it has religion essence. Ifa is not an history book, but it has historical essence. Ifa is not an occult, but it has occult essence. There is no aspect of life that Ifa does not touch. No. But how many of us are ready to exploit? And there is no way you can do it than to sit at the feet of all these sages and ask them questions. It is when you ask them, the day that I wanted to come up with this story of the universe that you are referring to, I started it. The man who gave me told me one thing. He said, the day that you are going to tell the world about this story, I wish I was still alive, so that I could defend you if there was any. But I will not be alive that time. But say it the way I have told you, and you will see that the world will listen to you. And that was exactly what happened. The time that we were supposed to say this thing openly, that day I was not even there. It was in Trinidad. This is the guy who wrote, who read what I have already said. But I realized today that everybody had accepted it as given. But nobody wanted to know that I have put together 8 different Ifa stanzas. That was what we joined together to produce that story. So that's what I'm saying. Let everybody go out there. Look for competent babalawos. Let them tell you fantastic stories. And come out to present it to the world. Don't worry about whether the man who told me this thing never went to school at all. And he was telling us the Big Bang Theory. And that was what we are using today. And the whole world is not talking about Big Bang Theory. Because that is not saying. And it says that there is no such thing as universe. Now what we have is polyverse. That we are still getting there. But today we still accept universe. But I believe that we are still going there. When we realize that it is not one. You understand? So what I'm saying is go out. Look for information. Bring out knowledge so that we will tell the world that we are true children of the gods. Àbọ̀rú àbọ̀yè.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.